That's our pilot episode, 68 minutes. The
Yeah.
others are all like 43, 44. What do you think about this episode? What do you think? I mean, you're already giving us some
Uh,
clues about how you judge soap operas, right?
it's yeah. Look, I'm in it because I'm committed to this show, but this is I don't know. This is going to be tough for me because it was mostly me rolling my eyes watching this. See Thomas Howell. Oh my gosh. Like the lines he was delivering, it was like the first time he had ever acted in something, period. Like it was like his first job right out of acting school. He was just excited to be doing it. I was just not impressed. I understand why it might have had a following, a cult following. I get why vampires are popular and how people would be attracted to this, but it is not the kind of show that I would want to sit down and actually watch. But I'm here for it. Let's do it. Let's roll.
I did not. It's hard to distinguish my feelings on this. I did not dislike watching this. Like
Okay.
I enjoyed watching this. It wasn't good. It wasn't good, but I really liked watching this. I mean,
Okay.
I chuckled and laughed at so many things that were
Okay.
unintentionally funny, but also like just the idea of it. I like mob type of movies. I said on this show before, one of my favorite TV shows was Boardwalk Empire. That is a great mafia type show set in like the 20s and
Completely
30s.
different, completely different quality though.
Totally different quality. Totally different quality. One has
Yeah.
good quality. This has soap opera quality. I mean, it was,
Yeah.
but I just like the
Yeah.
mob mafia. I like The Sopranos. We mentioned The Sopranos briefly somewhere in here. Fantastic show. I really like those types of stories. And again, we talked about how we feel about vampires, and you're mixing them together here. And I like it's not really a mafia meets vampire story as I've been led to believe. It's
Yeah.
more, it's just a vampire soap opera, and there is a guy who happens to be a cop who is trying to get to the bottom of this vampire mystery. That's really what it comes
Yeah.
down to.
Yeah.
So
I
I didn't
don't,
dislike it. I didn't dislike it.
yeah.
I had a good time
I,
watching this.
I can
I'm okay.
respect it. Did I have a good time? Yeah. Cause I thought it was ridiculous. So yeah, I had a good
Yeah,
time in that sense.
sure.
But back in the 90s, I'm not sitting down to watch this,
No,
you
I
know?
mean, we didn't mention this was produced by Aaron Spelling, who did such shows as Melrose Place. And this definitely feels like an adult version. You know, Melrose Place was teenagers. These are adults and vampires, and it definitely feels like those
Yeah. And
kids grew up and turned into these vampires. Like it is that soapy,
right.
is that feeling,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. It,
I liked it.
it was interesting.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
but I do want to watch more.
yeah.
I think there's some cool things about it that I'm interested in. I agree with you. The way they generalize it as a mafia story, but it's not. It's just vampires. If you watch a lot of vampire stuff, they often work in clans and they have little, you know,
Yeah,
groups and
right.
your one vampire gets so old that they can start siring other vampires and now they have their own clan. And that's all this is. It's not a mafia. They're just trying to keep things together to hide themselves. Blade is pretty similar. If you remember the Blade movie, right? The whole undertone of that is to keep yourself hidden from the humans. Don't let them know you're doing things.
Yep.
So good show. I'm glad we
Yeah,
got some differing points of view on it because I'm probably going to
yeah.
be a little harder on this show. I will
That's
laugh at
okay.
parts of it, but
That's
oof,
okay. Yeah.
that's tough.
Hey, I'm here. I'll call out the ridiculousness, but honestly, overall, I did not dislike watching this.
I don't know, man. What did you think about the second episode? We only have the pilot to compare it to. Where are
Yep.
you at?
Honestly, I liked it more than the pilot. I liked this episode. I kind of like the show at this point. Like, I think it's interesting. I think it's funny. I mean, it's not supposed to be funny, but I'm entertained by it. And
Yeah,
I would keep watching this. After the pilot, I don't know if I would have watched another episode, honestly. But I get to this point and I'm like, I'm kind of into this mobster
yeah.
feel vampire show. Even though honestly, I don't have we ever seen a vampire do anything in this? Like they're barely vampires. What makes them, like we talked about? We never see teeth. They don't turn into bats. They don't do any of the vampire stuff. We just they're vampires apparently.
It's assumed.
Yeah, but I kind of like it.
Yeah,
To me, this feels like a precursor to True Blood. It really feels like
Oh, for sure.
if I'm looking at a vampire TV show, I think of True Blood. I mean, there's a mystery. You got vampires, you got wolves, and just like the whole general sexiness of the whole thing and all the relationshipy type of stuff, it definitely feels like a True Blood to me.
Yeah.
And I will say, my one criticism of this, no, I don't. I have more than one criticism. My main criticism of this, honestly, I feel like Frank is getting in the way. Like if you took him out of this or made him just a minor character who maybe only shows up a little
Right.
bit, like every couple episodes, not even every episode, but put the
Yep.
focus on the Kindred, the title of the show, Kindred the Embrace. Let's make them the focus of this, not the cop trying
Yeah.
to discover them. And I think it would be a better
Yep.
show.
Yeah. I agree 100%. After the pilot, I was like, I don't know about this show.
Yeah.
I'm not, I'm not on board. This episode changed my mind.
Yeah.
Like I definitely want to watch more now.
Yeah.
I think part of what I really started to gravitate towards in this episode is how I love that they flipped the script. So typically when you see vampires, the vampires are the ones that are awkward and weird because they're not human. So
Yeah.
they make them stand out. But in this show, they make the humans so overly dramatic that I'm more interested in vampires because they seem so normal.
Yes.
I'm like, these humans are just bumbling idiots, but these vampires,
Right.
I want to know more about them.
Yeah.
And that's what grips me is this the way they do the writing for them. It's just really cool.
I agree.
So
I'm with you. Yeah.
yeah.
It's funny.
So yeah,
I was really counting on you being a hater here so that we wouldn't be in complete agreement.
I don't know. This
I was
one,
like, I
this
kind of
was,
like it. Aaron will hate it. This will be good. We'll have some conflict. Yeah.
yeah, the pilot just threw me. This episode was better. Now, there's only 8 episodes,
Yeah.
and you know, I don't know. I still might hate it, Rob.
Okay.
Right?
I'm hoping.
So
I'm hoping.
because there were definitely a lot of problems, and like I said,
Oh.
I sighed through almost every scene of this show. Is like watching it, I'm like, oh God, really? Oh, geez, really? That's what I thought every time. And just the
Yeah.
number of scenes that we get through.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like 50, 60 scenes and they're all 30 seconds long.
Yeah. I mean, it is flying through the script.
It's soap opera, and it's just
It
like, what
definitely
is
is.
happening?
It definitely is.
So, and I'm not
And
a
a
fan
lot
of
of
that.
times, like nothing happens. Like you might have a long scene where absolutely nothing happens. There's no
Nothing.
information given, and then you might have a 30-second scene where they tell you the most important thing you need to know.
It's everything. The whole episode rests on this 30 seconds. So
Yes.
pay attention. Yeah. And I don't like that.
So, what do you think of this? Or do you have any more thoughts on anything that happened?
No, it was good. It was a tighter episode than the
Yeah.
last one.
Yeah.
Storytelling was rough. I mean, you understand what's going on, but none of the timelines sync up. There's so many more instances besides just the Frank and the incinerator scene where somebody will show up and have a conversation, but it feels like it's 2 days post these other events, and it's like, what is this timing? It's so weird, but it's soap opera-y. I like the episode. I don't know. I feel like I wasn't real excited about the pilot, and I feel like I'm getting sucked in with every episode. I'm like, man, okay, this is pretty cool. Like I could watch more, and I look forward to watching the next episode now. So I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. I personally, I did not care for the Deadsy and the kid storyline
Yeah,
probably
it's a
as much
little
as you did, but the clan war part of it is what I was interested in. Like that's
Yeah,
the big fighty story that I want to see, not the
agree.
star-crossed lovers and not the sick kid. You
Yeah.
know, those stories don't make me feel good. I want to see a big battle. I want to see a big war. That makes me
Some
feel
fighting.
good. That's what I want to see. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think I just like the Nosferatu clan. I think I like
They were
the
cool.
screen time that Deadsy gets, and I think just the end is probably what cemented that. Like they just show up and they're mysterious and very, very vampire-y to me.
Yeah.
Showing up in the darkness. So
Yes.
I thought it was pretty cool.
They do seem to be the most vampire of all of the clans. So if we want
Yeah.
some actual vampire action, I think that's where we're going to get it.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah,
So,
good
I agree.
episode.
I honestly, I'm with you. I liked it. I enjoyed it overall. Even the parts that I wasn't as big of a fan of, I still enjoyed. Like at no point was I ready to turn this off. Like it was good.
Oh no. Yeah, you're still there with it. The Caitlyn storylines seemed all over the place.
Yeah.
Did you notice in the part where Abel runs off and Frank runs off into the basement after him, and then Caitlyn like sits for a moment, and then she's like, "Oh, I should go with them,"
Yeah.
and then she gets like halfway down the stairs, and she's just like, "Screw it," and she just turns
I
around.
lost them. Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah, I'm just like, what? They just went down one more flight.
Oh well.
What is happening?
Yeah.
I didn't understand why they even left that in.
Yeah.
It's like, what was the point? But
Yep.
it's weird stuff like that that takes you away from it because I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah. Yeah. And last time we talked about how maybe Frank just needed to be a smaller character, and he
Yeah,
wasn't this one. And I think honestly,
yeah,
I do think it worked a lot better, even if the again, like you said, the timing of his story, like none of it seemed quite right. But
no,
he did have a smaller part, and honestly, I think it was fine. It tied into he was like a subplot of Deadsy's story, which is
right.
a subplot to the episode, and I feel like that was the right amount of screen time for Frank.
I I liked it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
liked him more because I didn't have to listen to him deliver these terrible cheesy lines the entire episode.
Right, right. I will
So
say though, with less Frank, we get less Sunny, and I really like Sunny.
true. Yeah,
So
yeah,
we'll see. Anyway, I thought it was a good one.
yeah. It was cool. I liked it. I've told you I was thoroughly bored with this one. It
Okay.
didn't do much for me. I was riding like a high from the last couple episodes. Like this show's pretty cool. I'm getting on board with this. And then this one was Zane just sucked the wind out of my sails. I just didn't care. And it's probably why I didn't take real good notes. I was bored.
You definitely have a habit of not taking great notes when the episods are not
When
very
I
good. You did that in Earth
yeah,
2 a number of times, and it was
I
always the
did.
scouting episodes.
Every episode was scouting. That's all they did. And they were terrible at it. They never
They're
got
so
better.
bad. So bad. Yeah. But yeah, I
I,
don't disagree with you. This was definitely, I mean, the pilot was its own thing. Honestly, it wasn't great, but the next two
yeah.
were pretty good episodes.
Yeah.
This is definitely worse than both of those two. I didn't
Yeah.
dislike it, but I've already said I don't like when they rely so heavily on the rock star motif. And when he's a guest star, like I don't care about that. And it's just weird. I don't care for it. And
Yeah.
they did like it was similar to when Tim Curry was on Earth 2 for so many episodes, and they focused on the guest star so much when we barely knew the regular cast.
Yeah.
Let us get introduced to the regular cast and get bored of them before we have to bring in a special guest star to take up all of our
Yeah.
time.
That we don't care about. Yeah. That's a
Yeah,
really good comparison. You're right. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. Good job.
thanks.
Yeah.
It just came to
So,
me.
yeah. Sorry that my notes weren't great, but man, this is just a rough episode. We should have like a scale. How do we not have like a rating scale?
I know. Kind of once in a while we would with Earth 2, but not too often.
Yeah.
So, what do you say out of 10 or 5? What do you think?
We'll go out of 5. We'll do out of 5. 5
Out of
stars.
5. Okay. Out of how many out of 5 stars or vampire steaks? How many
Oh, okay.
steaks
How
do
many
you give
steaks?
this one? How many
Uh,
vampire steaks?
uh,
Which is not a cut of a vampire that you would eat. It is what you would use to kill a
to
vampire.
kill them. Oh, okay.
Right.
Like a 1. And I
Cloves of
feel like
garlic. Let's give it cloves of garlic. How many cloves
cloves
of
of
garlic would you
okay.
give it?
Oh, well, now cloves of garlic. So makes me think the more cloves the better because we want to kill
Right.
this thing. So
Right. Let's not do that.
five cloves of garlic because this was a stinker and I want it dead. If we
5
go with
cloves of garlic.
steaks,
That's a lot.
uh,
Let's go
steaks
with
would be the same thing. Honestly,
let's just call it teeth, right? Let's just call it not teeth. Let's call it stars. Let's say how many out of stars. We'll work on the rating scale.
I overcomplicated this. We shouldn't do this on the fly.
I shouldn't have gone with cloves of garlic. That was a terrible way to go about it. That's
I
my
like that.
bad.
Yeah.
Stars.
Whatever the
5
rating
stars.
is, like 1.
The worst. Okay.
It was just terrible for me. I
What do
didn't enjoy it.
What about the last episode, for some comparison?
Oh, the last episode, Romeo and Juliet. I'd put that honestly, I'd put that at a 5.
Okay.
I think for this show, I think that was really
Right.
good. They had a lot of really
Right.
good storytelling going on, a lot of tight storytelling in there. It wasn't confusing. The pace was pretty good. A little less soap opera-y than the episodes we've seen.
All right.
Yeah.
So, for my comparison's sake, I'd give the last episode a 4 because
Okay.
I assume there's going to be better coming. But I really enjoyed it. I'd give it
Okay.
a 4.5. We'll
Okay.
say.
Yeah.
This one, I would go a 2 to 2.5. Like I did not hate this
Oh,
one.
wow.
I was
Generous
definitely
of
bored
you.
with it. I'm in a good mood. But no, 2 to 2.5 for sure. Like
Okay.
it's the worst one aside from the pilot. I think it's probably still, that might even be worse than the pilot, honestly. Let's go 2.5 for the pilot. I'd give this one a 2.
Wow. That's still generous.
But
This is a sneaker.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah. I mean, 2 could be a stinker. You know, if that's percentage, that's like 40%. 2 out of 5.
it's like failing.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh.
But by that scale, really, you need a 3.5 to not be failing, which is fair. That's fair, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not a fan of this one.
Yeah.
That's the end of the episode.
Yep.
So, what'd you think?
I really like this one. Like you said, it was much more mobstery. Like there was people pitting each other against each other and some backstabbing going on. I I think where I struggled with it is like the Cyrus character. Other than bringing the Asimite in, he didn't need to be there. Like he didn't really
Yeah.
do much.
Oh,
You know, he was just there to pick up the pieces. I think, and I think the whole thing with Sasha and Cash is going to get real old real fast. I hate those stories. I mean, I
they're
don't
no Ross
hate.
and Rachel, let me tell you.
Right. That's what I mean. It's just, it's like, okay, we get it. Like, move on already, dude. Figure it out. This isn't,
Yeah.
just a little weird. But
It's soap opera. It's a soap
yeah,
opera.
it is. But I really liked it. I like Lily in this episode. She's like really jealous, and I was okay with that. I was like, I get it. You thought Jillian was yours, and now he's going after this human lady.
Yeah.
Disgusting. Humans.
Yeah. Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah. I really liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I agree completely. So it was billed kind of as The Godfather meets vampires, and I feel like this one finally lives up to it with like the
Yeah.
betrayals and the sneaky backstabbing of people behind each other's backs. I guess that's where you would backstab someone is behind their back.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Usually how that happens.
Yeah. But yeah, to me, like this is like what I would have pictured for the entire show. And,
Yeah.
Now we're finally getting here.
Yeah, it's kind of what I expected. But I get the buildup of it. You see the buildup, all this stuff coming with Eddie. So
sure,
it's pretty cool.
Yep.
I liked it.
Yeah, best episode so far. If I was if I was rating this on a scale of 1 to 5 caskets, I would give this 5 caskets.
You would give it 5? As much as I liked it, I had some issues with some of the writing in Cyrus, so I would 4 caskets.
If you remember, you gave Romeo and Juliet 5.
Really like that one though.
It was
yeah,
that was a good one.
I really like that.
That's one. Fair. That's fair. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah. So we're in agreement. Great episode. Yeah. After a real turd of an episode last time.
Oh my gosh. Where you at on this one?
So, to me, if I'm looking at the story and everything here, this was an okay episode. Middle of the road. But there are things about this that I really liked. What I really liked was the vampire lore and the history. Like, we learned about Julian's past within his own clan. We got a lot of Nosferatu backstory, like their history. We didn't really cover it here, but they talked about how, like, a couple thousands of years ago, they were savages and all that. We learned a lot about, like, the vampires.
Yeah.
And I thought that part was really cool. We did get a full-on vampire fight, finally, even if it was kind of underwhelming.
It's a soap opera fight.
It is. And we saw some fangs, we saw some claws. I was kind of cool with that. I was kind of bored with the story, but there were lots of really cool elements in there that I did really like. If I was going to rate it on a scale of 1 to 5 caskets, I'd give it like a 3, I'll say.
Okay.
Slightly above average.
Yeah. Yeah. My wrap up notes were the exact same. I loved all the background.
Yeah.
All the story we got was really cool.
Yeah.
Just the history. The story of itself for the episode was fine. They needed a catalyst to get through that stuff to lay the groundwork for the Nosferatu's past. And, this is a good way to do it. It was entertaining.
Although I think the primary purpose of the story was Caitlin and her background and her intimacy with Julian. I think that was the story. Everything else was to push that forward.
Yeah. And for me, that was my least favorite part. I was like, I don't care about that. Like, well, we knew they were going to get together. I don't.
Right.
So
you and I are definitely not in this for the soap opera. We're here for vampires.
We're not. Yeah. We want to see some cool vampire stuff.
Right. So that 100% explains why we both liked the lore and mythology of the vampires of this world. It makes sense.
Yeah.
That's the cool
part.
And
are we doing caskets or garlic?
I think garlic. That was too confusing because garlic could mean it was bad.
Bad.
Right. So it's too confusing.
So we're on to caskets.
Caskets, I think, is where we landed. Sorry.
Okay.
That's my bad.
No, you're good. I'm okay with the shifting scale. It doesn't bother me. So I hope,
we could do something different every week.
With it. Yeah, we could. Literally.
They'll be fine with it. If they're here, then they're fine with it.
Yeah, I would give this one 2 caskets. Okay. I mean, I was entertained. It was there, but I was really just waiting for the fight. Once I understood, I was like, oh, okay, Julian's going to throw down. That's all I wanted to see. and everything else just was awkward. I still have a lot of issues with continuity in the show. I know it's a soap opera drama and that it doesn't matter, but these vampires must feed all the time because they're always out during the day. It never seems to bother them.
All the time
Always,
in the daylight.
always out during the day.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And I just don't get it. And what are they feeding on? Do they have to feed on humans?
I think
Or
so.
do they feed on each other? So how are they feeding on humans but protecting humanity? Like we still haven't.
You can feed on a human without turning them or killing them.
Well, sure, but we haven't seen any of that happen. I think that's where I struggle.
Never once.
We don't see them feed. So I feel like it's like Earth 2 where we're pretty sure they're vegetarians. I'm pretty sure these vampires under Julian are like vegetarians, and maybe it's artificial blood or pig's blood or I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know how they live. So
yeah, the original True Blood,
yeah,
vampire blood supplement, whatever it was.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, or like even in Blade, they don't even have just like blood banks where they're getting blood, so they don't have to just straight up feed on humans, right?
Yeah.
Like, just give me something. Answer that question somewhere, somehow.
Yeah. We'll get that in episode 9. Oh,
yeah,
so close.
Might have. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I agree. I've had the same question. Like, where are all the people they're feeding on?
But the original audience is probably not worried about that, but we are.
Right.
But the people they were marketing towards didn't give a crap.
No.
But I do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's funny. I feel like there maybe an issue with this show is that the people who like soap operas do not also like vampires, and the people who like vampires maybe also do not like soap operas. I feel like maybe that was an issue.
Right. It could be, and
those things.
Yeah, and the number of people that are playing the game, The Masquerade, is probably not enough to sustain an entire TV show on it. So.
The gaming community is relatively small.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like compared to TV numbers, and the people in the gaming community that are specifically playing this game, Vampire the Masquerade, cannot be enough to sustain a TV show. I'm sure they probably love this show because it meshed with what they were doing, but
it's not enough to keep it alive.
No.
What did you think of this one? I know we went through it in a little more detail, but I thought there was a lot of good storytelling here.
You know, I really liked it a lot, honestly. It had the parts, like, from that goth episode, the best parts that we liked were about the history and mythology of the vampires and whatnot. And this had some more of that. And I liked the whole backstory with the Bruja there in Manzanita. Although, I will say, I was kind of confused about how it all went down. The first time I watched the episode, I had to watch it a second time, and then I was able to kind of piece it together a little more clearly what was going on. Also, maybe I just wasn't paying enough attention the first time through.
Well, I'll tell you, I think the cuts and the edits in this episode were really bad. And
they're brutal.
Yeah, because they're giving you little tidbits, but they're not setting it up. So you're just cut to somebody and they're talking about a thing. You're like, I don't know what that means. I don't know who you are, what's going on.
Right.
And they just do that this whole episode. This one felt like really excessive on that. So you just have to piece it together as you go.
Right. So there were certain parts with the cuts, like where Julian is breaking the masquerade with Caitlin and Archon is telling Deadsy about his that whole thing, where the cuts work nicely, where they're put together.
Oh, that was cool. Yeah.
Yes. But then there are all the other cuts where they just make zero sense and they actually lose you a little bit. So but overall, I really like this. I thought it was cool. I thought they were really exploring some new territory here. I actually thought for most of it, I didn't think they were going to wipe Caitlin's memory. I thought she might just get to know about him and be fine and be a new phase of their relationship. Then he wiped her mind. And I was like, oh, man, back to square one. But
I
like what they opened up here.
Yeah.
Like
sorry,
with,
go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Like with Sonny and Frank, like I like how he opened that possibility up for new stories with them going forward. I mean, I honestly, I think Frank loves vampires anyway. He and Julian are like best friends. Frank wants to make out with Lily all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't see why Sonny just shouldn't be like, hey, I'm like them. I'm one of them too. In fact, Julian's my daddy. So we should be best friends too.
Yeah. He should just be embraced at this point. He's really into it.
Basically, he's so into it. He wants it.
Yeah. And the way he's into it, it's not even so much as a law enforcement anymore. He's just kind of obsessed with them at this point.
Agreed. Yeah. So anyway, I liked it. What do you think? How'd you like this one?
Overall, I liked the episode. The cuts and the story was solid. The way it was told was a little rough. I should clarify that just because of all the
Yeah,
weird back and forths. Um,
it's a good way to
but
put it.
I really liked it. I love the history that we get with Julian and Archon. Like that part was really cool because it lets you understand so much more about
Yeah,
what we've seen in the past episodes. So
I
too
agree.
bad we don't get any more moving forward because our next episode is a earlier one that should have taken place. So this is
Yep,
it. I mean, technically, this is the finale. This is where it ends.
it is.
And I know it wasn't meant to be the finale, but the way it ends with Caitlin makes for a really weird finale ending because it's very clear that they had another episode in mind.
Oh yeah.
So,
Well, and like with the whole Frank and Sonny drama now,
oh,
suspense,
sure.
like there's
Yeah.
clearly a future to this show that
Yeah.
they had in mind. And there were, like we said way back at the beginning, there were 2 other episodes that were written, just never produced. So they definitely had more intentions to go further.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just don't get to know what it is.
Yeah. How many caskets you give this one?
Oh man. I gave my favorite episode 5. This is not my favorite. I would give it 3.5 caskets. I'll give it 3.5.
Yeah. I was gonna go like 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah. It had some problems, but it was good. But it was
It did. I
weird.
mean, that's it. It's not a great episode. What do you think of this one?
I'm glad they cut it. Even for an early episode. Okay. We talked about this a little bit. I don't think we're recording yet. The Zane episode was bad. That was probably both of our least favorites so far. Had Night Stalker aired, it would have been a tight competition with the Zane episode. So
Yeah.
it was bad. The Dead Z storyline was just so weird.
Ridiculous.
It just
Yeah.
didn't fit anything.
Yeah.
And the rest of it was fine. It was another Freak of the Week type thing, right? So
Yeah.
I'm glad they cut it and they got to stick with that initial Eddie Fiore line, right? This would have just been a weird hiccup. And Eddie Fiore is not even in this episode, doesn't even come up at all. So I don't know. For me, if caskets like 1 out of 5, it was pretty bad. Like there's a reason they cut it. We don't know why, but you can watch it and tell they left this one out for a reason.
Definitely. Yeah. I had almost all the exact same things in my notes. It definitely feels weird watching it so out of place. And it's hard for me to watch it and not think about all the other things that we know or like all the points where it ties in later. I'm like, oh, because of this, that's why they said that. It's hard for me to like even focus on it. It's definitely a Monster of the Week type of story. And I had down, there's no Eddie Fiore. And I think it probably did strengthen the show to not skip the Eddie Fiore story so close to the beginning. Like just make that one arc right there at the beginning.
Yeah.
And just take care of, like, keep it all together. Honestly, I think the Zane one did interrupt the arc later as well. And I don't know if that's part of the reason why we dislike it so much. I don't think it is. It's just not a good episode.
It was a bad episode, but it could have been part of it is it didn't fit.
Yeah.
It didn't fit anything that was going on in the show so far.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Agreed. So, I don't think I disliked it nearly as much as you did. Well, pretty close. I would go 1.5-ish to 2 caskets.
Oh, okay. Okay.
At two at the very most. Yeah, the Dead Z storyline was just ridiculous. But also, I really like Dead Z, so I kind of liked it
too.
for its ridiculousness.
I don't get me wrong. Dead Z is probably one of my favorite characters
By far.
through the whole show.
Yeah.
This episode didn't do him any favors though.
No.
At all.
Yeah.
But I can look past it because that's not the Dead Z we actually watched through this series. It's close, just a little too angsty.
So, you brought it up. The series as a whole. What are your thoughts? What do you think?
Going into it, just reading about the show, I was expecting garbage. Just terrible, terrible show. Cheap horror. Like I was thinking typical vampires. So I was expecting some really bad horror scenes for evening, TV. I think I was actually surprised by the show overall. I think watching Night Stalker helped me appreciate what we got in the 7 episodes that we got. So the writing was not real strong through the whole show, but they they were writing for a soap opera, uh, so it didn't have to be strong. That's not what really sells.
It's true.
The writing got the job done for me. I think the editing really did nag me. I understand what they were going for, but just these random cuts in every episode to scenes where it was just somebody looking in a mirror or saying one comment and then cutting back to a completely different like time of day, and you can't tell where anything's lining up. I think that really bothered me. Honestly, man, I think I really liked it, and I wish there was more. I would have kept watching it because this show got so good just in those 7 episodes.
Yeah.
Like the storyline was good, and they're kind of mobsters. It's corporate CEOs, nightclub owners, motorcycle gang guys, but they bring them together in a way that they're not really even running humans. They're just, it's their own little culture, their own little slice of the city that they're really just ingrained in. And that is just really cool. It's
Yeah.
just a really fun idea. So honestly, I really liked it. I want more. I'm sad that it didn't keep going. I know.
So
And
you
I
would
didn't
say,
expect myself.
I
I
did
didn't
not
expect
either.
myself to say any of that.
I didn't expect you to either. I'm a little
Yeah.
shocked. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I was
you're
entertained.
your team gone too soon then.
I'm gone too soon. 100%. 5 out of 5 caskets overall.
Wow.
It was really good. It's just entertaining.
Yeah.
You know, I get why people watch soap opera. I wouldn't watch a regular soap opera, but I'll watch this one.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So how about
I
you? Where are
well,
you at?
so I alluded to this kind of a few weeks ago at some point, but I think to expound on it a little more, at this point in the 90s, marketing a vampire show to the soap opera crowd, even the nighttime soap opera crowd, and vice versa, marketing a soap opera show to the vampire speculative fiction type of crowd, and putting this on network TV is what did them in. Like they could not succeed, I don't think, with that formula.
Sure. They had to play it too safe, right? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, basically.
They couldn't
Yeah.
they couldn't
They couldn't please everybody.
stretch the boundaries. Yeah.
And with the budget that you have on network TV and also the restrictions, they couldn't really go for it. I think if they really had waited a few more years, had a real budget, it's where they could do some decent special effects, and they were on a premium channel where they could do all the stuff that the vampires are known for: blood, sex, gore, all that.
Sure.
They could have really, really succeeded. I really enjoyed this show, and I am also team Gone Too Soon. I really liked it. Even with the pilot, I had a feeling that I was going to like this show.
Sure.
I didn't realize I was going to like it as much as I ended up liking it. And not to say this show does not have problems. We definitely highlighted.
Oh, it's
a
got
couple
a ton of problems.
couple one casket episodes. Those were terrible.
Right.
Even the good episodes have a lot of problems.
Yeah.
But who cares? Overall, you like it, and that's what you're there for,
Yeah.
is an enjoyable experience. And this was a cool and fun, enjoyable experience with a couple exceptions / episodes.
Yeah.
So it was really cool. Really cool.
Yeah. They would have worked through those pain points. Every first season of a show is rough, right? And
Yeah,
they could have worked
definitely.
through those. Could they have kept going? They would have got through it. And the Vampire Diaries on CW, I didn't watch a lot of it, but it was pretty successful. And that's kind of what Kindred was. It was a network vampire show, and they just left out the gratuity,
Yeah.
and they made it work. And I think Kindred could have done it first had they kept going. It would have been the one, that everything gets compared to.